Welcome back to Come and Take It. So I had I keep having the displeasure in the month of June of going to these all ages Pride festivals. And this past weekend was Dallas and Arlington, Texas. Let me just tell you, that's my sentiment for the entire weekend. That's what I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that.
So Dallas, Texas, okay, the city of Dallas, just to set the scene, this Pride Festival it takes place at Fair Park, which is, of course, city-owned property. So this is city property that the Pride Festival, I guess, rents out and has all of their degeneracy and festivities. And so I get there and I go through the gate and I go through the metal detector and I immediately walk into a room and I am greeted by a booth with like naked man paintings. Okay, all ages. They're all ages naked man paintings, I guess. I mean, we used to call that something. Now it's just Pride. And so it's like a bunch of different views of naked man's bodies. Now, I don't even, like, if you're gay, I guess you want to hang this in your home. I don't really know how it works. I don't want to know. All I know is that there was a child that was like literally right there as I walked in and saw that to my right. And I was like, oh, great. That's not crazy sexual indoctrination at all. And so I want to go through some of the other vendors that I saw when I was at this event, because it was wild, guys. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone all weekend long. So I'm walking. Oh, sexual health clinic with, free condoms and HIV testing and PrEP, which is apparently what you take before you know you're going to be exposed to someone with HIV, I think. I don't really know. I don't really want to know. That's not going to come up in my life. But the point is, really weird stuff to be putting out, displaying in front of kids when you know that there are kids that are going to be there because you've just said that this is all ages welcome. Okay. Then I was just walking past another HIV booth. There were a lot of those, by the way, HIV booth. And there was a man in a tutu that was just there. He was just twerking at the HIV booth, just right there. Self-explanatory, I think. All right. So then we got to a lot of apparel booths, and that is where it got really, really disgusting. I went to, one of the t-shirt booths that there was, and again, all in view of children. There was nothing that was blocked off. There was not an area that said 18 and up only. No children. Please do not enter, children. We are worried that you might get indoctrinated or traumatized. There was nothing like that of the sort. All right. So I want to read to you, those of you who are listening on audio podcast, I'm sorry. Those of you who are watching, I'm sorry for your eyeballs, okay? I'm just sorry for all of this, but I got to tell you what's in view of young children, all right? So one of the t-shirt booths, again, just one of them, eat pussy, it's healthy. Certified freak. My ex hates my guts because he couldn't reach them. I like boys that lick boys. Woman eater. All right. Girls eat it better. And of course, overworked and underfucked. Mom pleaser. Again, right in view of children. There was a lot of apparel that kind of was just right in that same vein. But I want to just, because I know I say this stuff all the time, and people are like, yeah, right, Sarah, that would never happen. That's not going to happen in front of kids. Nobody would allow that. Yeah, it is. It's been happening for a really long time, and Texas still has yet to do anything about it. So here's another vendor. Okay, socks. Oh, they're so cute. They're so colorful. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. One of them says, F you. Another one, balls. Another one, let's see, eat a bag of dick, holy shit balls, and a sock with just the middle finger over and over and over again. And honestly, at this point, I'd like to apologize to my editor because he probably deserves a raise for this particular episode because of how many words he is going to have to censor during just this episode. Okay.
I just can't do it. I can't take it no more, man.
So these are all things that are in plain view of children. And there were children there. There were young children there. There were elementary school children there. There were babies. There were middle school. There were there was just it literally was all ages there. All right. There also were, which we always see, the fans with all of the disgusting words on them. This one was no different. There was a stand that had the fans that said, "Cunt, daddy, slut," among others, among other favorites of this particular festival. And then there was another booth that had these fans that had a kid that was, literally just right there, at eye level to this particular fan that said, "Que viva la puteria," which basically, if you want to translate it, it basically means like long live promiscuity, long live being a whore. That's kind of the gist of what that means right there. And I get it. That's a kid who I'm sure cannot read and also cannot read Spanish, but there's just something so disgustingly evil about putting that right out there for children to see. Of course, along with the other ones that are in plain English, that the kids who can read that. Mommy, what's a slut? Can you imagine the questions that would come if you bring your child to an event like this? Now, if you're watching this and you're still with me, I'm sure you're probably not going to bring your child, okay? But this is what children are being exposed to, even in the state of Texas in 2025. Here's another booth. Trinity United Methodist Church. No, thank you. Stop by. No, thank you. Chat with our gay pastor. No, thank you. I'm going to pass on that. Always. Think so. Read the Bible, by the way. It might teach you something about all that. There were more shirts and stickers, apparel galore at this Dallas Pride Festival. I'm going to go through some of them with you. Here's some cute little crop tops. Oh, a little rainbow with the peace sign. That's so innocent and cute. Then, of course, the y'all means all. Yes, definitely. Here is another one we've got. Homosexual Anxiety Club. Now, again, I'm not sure if it's a crop top or if it's for kids, but it's a really small shirt. Another y'all means all. And Queer Rage. It's a little disturbing. What are they saying there? Gay and tired. And of course, just to hit all of the check marks, all of the boxes, no one is illegal on stolen land. Guys, I know this is about the Pride Festival and I'm going to get back to that, but I just got to tell you, this land was not stolen. It was conquered. That's how all lands work. Like that's just how all of history has worked. Those who have the means, those who are stronger, those who have more resources, conquered whoever was there before. That's just how life worked. So it's not stolen. It was conquered. Okay. If you have any questions, revisit your history book, please. Unless you live in a weirdo communist state, and then your history book is probably wrong. Then you've got all of these cute little books for kids here and above. And that was the booth that they really had it all. They really had it all because they had stickers galore here. And some of their stickers, well, you be the judge. Is this kid friendly? Is this all ages appropriate or not? They've got fuck Trump, Elon Musk. Let's see. Daddy, be gay, do crime, support queer artists. bad witch vibes. And then let's see some more of these. Poor and horny. Live, laugh, lorazepam, which I believe is an antidepressant. Again, I'm just going to leave that right there for you to digest. But it's kind of saying something. Live fast, eat ass. This is like, as we're watching this, isn't it strange that they say that it's not about sexuality, and then it's like it's entirely about sexuality and perversion? God loves gay and stoned, feeling like I don't. What else am I supposed to make of this? It's literally all about sex and degeneracy and perversion. That's literally, they're like, we're just being who we are. I don't know if this is what you want to put all over your stuff with stickers. Maybe you should examine who you are, because your identity is not supposed to be all wrapped up in who you want to have sex with. And that is literally all that was there. It's creepy.
Howdy, folks. It's Chris Salcedo from the Salcedo Storm podcast. You might know me from my TV show on Newsmax or my radio show on AM 700 KSEV in Houston. As a veteran broadcaster, author, and conservative political analyst, I've teamed up with Texas Scorecard to take a no-nonsense approach to the toughest questions Americans are wrestling with every day. Join me on the Salcedo Storm podcast, where I challenge the status quo and bring you fresh perspectives on the national, state, and cultural news. Tune in weekdays, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
And then, of course, just because really bothered me, there were a ton of pet adoption sponsors that were there, which, listen, I'm a big, I help rescue dogs. I help foster dogs. I am a firm believer in adopting pets. But why do they have to make the dogs gay? Because they dress the dogs up in all this pride rainbow stuff. All right. And then on top of that, they had a little sticker that said, "I love my gay dog." And do we have to make everything gay? Do we have to make the dogs gay?
Why are you gay?
Can we not just leave the dogs out of it? Let's leave the dogs out of it. I realized that there was a monkeypox incident, or maybe several, whenever they had that monkeypox outbreak, and everyone was like, "What? But why does the dog have monkeypox?" But I'm just saying, can we just leave the dogs out of it? Just the dogs are innocent. Okay? Leave them alone. Now, of course, every Pride festival ever has to have drag, because that's the thing. Oh my gosh, we have to watch men dress up as women and cosplay as women, and then women tip them for some reason. I can't figure it out. Not for me. But listen, it doesn't bother me unless it's done in front of children, right? I don't care if you want to go out and watch your drag show and have your degeneracy. I honestly do not care about that at all, except when you're involving kids. And this one, of course, involving kids. So I'm going to play for you just a little taste, just a little sample. You're welcome for not showing you all of it. Just a little sample of what you saw with these drag queens, biological men, one would assume, at this all ages Pride Festival. That looked like a lot of rear endage that was just exposed. A lot of tucking, I guess, going on. But regardless, really weird to want to do in front of children. And then this particular festival had an element, a component to it that I had not seen yet in years prior. Maybe it was because all of these No Kings protests were popping up across the country, and they were like, well, we want to go to Pride, but how do we virtue signal? And I think they found just the solution, because here was a show at the Pride Festival. Now, to wrap this one up, tie it with a bow, throw it in the garbage where it belongs, just in case you were like, well, all ages welcome. How do I know? Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Well, here's some of the actual kid zone that they had. They had a kid zone that was complete with bounce houses. They had arts and crafts, and of course, a petting zoo. Who do you think a petting zoo was geared toward? Who do you think? For kids, of course, because everything is upside down and stupid. So that was Dallas over the weekend. Let's move over to Arlington. Of course, we're staying in the state of Texas. I was going to say the great state of Texas. Sometimes I say the great state of Texas. Today, I don't feel like saying the great state of Texas. We're moving to Arlington, all right? Now, Arlington last year, I don't know, those of you who don't remember, I'm going to show you a refresher in a second. Arlington last year was absolutely crazy, reprehensible, disgusting. It was awful. And I think someone must have said something within the city of Arlington, because this one, listen, it was still inappropriate, but it was toned down from last year, like demonstrably so. So I want to show you a refresher. As a refresher, we over at Texas Family Project, because of course, all of this work that I'm doing, all of the things that I'm exposing, everything that I'm doing here, I am doing with Texas Family Project, because we are working to, of course, protect children from this, from exactly this, from leftist indoctrination, from sexual, activity, entertainment, all of these things that their brains are not ready to process yet. We are trying to protect them from that. Over at Texas Family Project, we are pushing legislators to pass legislation to make sure that children are protected. And unfortunately, we still have to do this. We still have to do this work. We still have to go out to these festivals. We still have to go out to these, events and show people this is still happening in the state of Texas. So we exposed the Arlington Pride 2024 event. And that one was a real doozy. They had toys on display in front of kids and pretty graphic dancing, leaving very little to the imagination. And I want to play for you just some of last year's lowlights. So this year, I would say the vendors were very tame compared to the year before. And as you'll hear in the video, clearly something was said to the host, the drag queen host, about keeping it less dirty, although I'm not sure they accomplished that. I don't know. You let me know what you think. Here are the lowlights of Arlington Pride 2025.
Big booties. Okay. See, I can't say anything worse than that because I might get fired and I like this gig.
You tell me. Is any of that appropriate for children? Oh, it's so funny that we're joking about how we can only say boobs. And a couple times, I didn't get it on camera, they said, show me your titties. Oh, ha, ha, ha. That's so kid friendly. Thank you, drag queen. That's so hilarious. Thank you for showing me your crack. Again, I don't know how they tuck that thing, but I feel like it's probably at risk of like, and like, I don't know what you do at that point, because to me, that's called indecent exposure. I mean, what you're already doing right now, indecent exposure, not around children. And yet these places were full of children here in the state of Texas. So I'm begging you, I'm telling you in the comments, please tell me, is it just me? Or do you watch this and you say, well, you know, it's fine. Kids are going to be exposed to it anyway. That's what I hear. Well, the kids go to school. They're going to be exposed to it anyway. Oh, really? Does that mean that the two people, their mother and their father, which maybe these kids don't have a father around, I don't know. But does that mean that the people or the person who should be like the most protective of them should just put this in their heads? Put this in front of their faces? I don't think so. This should not happen in the state of Texas. We have always decided that there are limits to what we allow children to do, to see, to hear, to witness. We've always decided that there are limits. That should not happen in the state of Texas with children around, period. You tell me in the comments if I'm crazy or if you agree with me. And by the way, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with a friend who doesn't think that this is happening in the state of Texas. Share it with a friend who's saying, oh, come on, they just want to live their lives. Share it with a friend who doesn't understand how bad this gets, because the next session, which got a while to go, next session, we've got to protect children from this. And I'm not even saying for my eyeballs. I mean, I'm saying for my eyeballs, but I'm saying for their eyeballs. I hate it. They're traumatized by it. So keep this in mind next session. I'm sorry to have to do this to you and your eyeballs. I'm sorry for the bleach that it's going to take for you to get this out of your mind. I'm sorry for it all. But it's one of those, I saw it. Now you have to see it too, because you can't unsee what is happening to these children when you go in these events and you see it. And then you want to shout it from the rooftops. Please stop doing this to children. They don't deserve it. They're totally innocent. They're innocent. They don't deserve this pushed on them. They don't deserve to be pushed into a lifestyle that makes them more prone to anxiety and depression and suicidal ideation. It's not their fault. That's not fair to do to them. So, sorry, but it's still happening and you're still going to see it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we're over halfway done with June. It doesn't feel like it, but we are. But we'll keep an eye out for everything else that is going on this week. And of course, we'll bring you the latest next time on Come and Take It.
Be sure to subscribe to Texas Scorecard on YouTube and click that bell to ensure you're a real Texan. If you liked this video and want to see more citizen-driven journalism, be sure to click like and go to TexasScorecard.com to read about all things Texas. Texas Scorecard, real news for real Texans.